My name is Josh Carlson. I'm the middle school youth minister at St. Andrew's Lutheran Church in Matamidi, Minnesota. And I've been fortunate enough to have peer ministry be a foundational piece of my life for most of my life, both as a high schooler who was trained in peer ministry and learned from it and met every week, to someone who now teaches it, both in my context at St. Andrew's as well as all over the globe, going as far to Martin, Slovakia. And I love the power of this ministry and the ways that it changes communities, both local and far. Um, and there are so many different stories that come to mind when I think of just the power of peer ministry, the power of candles and conversations. Two stories in particular. One of them happened in my context at St. Andrews. We had a student who was expelled from school, and there was a lot of questions about some systemic racism around this expulsion. And at one of his school board hearings, peer ministers from our church rallied. They showed up to the school board meeting, to this hearing, and as the school board was inside meeting with this student, outside in the hallway, there was about 60 people organized by our peer ministers, and they were singing camp songs loudly. And this student came out of that meeting just grinning from ear to ear. Who goes to a hearing about expulsion, especially when there are issues of race surrounding it, and comes out smiling? Someone who's been affected by peer ministry. That's the only kind of person. And so he came out and he saw all of his friends and peer ministers there singing, everything from light the fire in my soul to I got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. And it was this community of care that they had learned about, and this leadership that they had stepped into that inspired them to do this. And that wouldn't have happened without peer ministry. The second story takes place in Martin, Slovakia. I was doing a training. And at the very end of the week, there was someone there, and I walked up to her and I said, I'm just so glad that you're able to be here every day and do this, taking time out of your summer to come to this. And she goes, I wouldn't have if it wasn't for my friend. You see, her friend would get on the train every single morning, go an hour out of her way to pick up her friend, get back on the train, and come there, because her friend knew she needed it. She knew that this was something that she needed in her life and in that moment, and that this person who kept coming almost against her will every single day just needed peer ministry, yes, but understood it, and it was so a part of her DNA. And we would talk about things, and she would have wonderful, wonderful insight. And it's funny how often peer ministers who do the most ministering and some of the most effective ministering and leadership are the ones who go to peer ministry because they think they need it, but often it's the world needs them. And peer ministry provides a space for people who are breaking at the seams, provides a space for them to give back, to change the world in a way that they need intrinsically as well. And this world is so much better with it as a part of it. And I have been so blessed to be a part of it. And so I'm so grateful for all of peer ministry's story and how we ended up where we are today with it. So thank you. Have a great day. Blessings.